Welcome to a little bit of lab rat fun, networking with fish. We're going to go ahead and dive right in today. So if this topology looks strange or unusual to you, I wouldn't start with this video. I'd go start with one of the other videos, maybe the first three in the foundational starting point for the CyberFlood series. So here we go. CyberFlood on the left, CyberFlood on the right, CyberFlood virtual routers in the middle, and of course my next generation firewall, a Firepower 4120, because the girl's got to have toys. And we're going to send traffic back and forth. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to use the CyberFlood not just to send normal traffic. The CyberFlood and also Ixia's breaking point, those two tools as layer 4 through 7 traffic generation tools are also used extensively in testing of security products. So the CyberFlood can be configured to send things like CVEs. What is a CVE? A CVE is a common vulnerabilities and exposure. If you still don't know what a CVE is, this video may not be for you, unless someone told you you're about to start configuring and using CyberFlood to build CVEs. So what is a CVE? So if you remember in the Christmas time of 2020, and here's the URL also for it, news, 0 day, malware may have targeted SolarWinds. So this was like the big deal back last Christmas, was the whole SolarWinds thing, so all over the news. So if you look at it, of course, it was like a piece of malware named by researchers, supernova. They always have to name things. But let's go ahead and track all the way down. And if we see this right here, this 0 day flaw tracked as CVE 2020-10148. So that is a CVE. That is a CVE number that is uniquely identifiable and can be found, and everyone knows what that CVE number is. It's in the different libraries on the internet that have this. Now, the other thing I want you to know about CVEs, if you look right here on this URL, the SolarWinds cyber attack, what you need to know, and this was last updated in March of this past year, 2021. But if we, again, track down to the bottom for CVE 2020-10148. Now, if you actually take CVE and you Google these CVEs out there, you might go to MITRE, you might go to other places. You also may go to nvd.nist.gov. This is a real nice, here it is, this is it. This is the CVE 2020-10148 detail, a little bit more detail in it. If you jump down to the gray area, we have the severity, and the base score is a 9.8 critical, according to this. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and go into our current CyberFlood test, and we're going to add CVE 2020-10148 to the security mix tab. Now, we're also going to talk a little bit about the traffic tab when we send tests from CyberFlood and the security mix tab. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add it, and we're going to tell the CyberFlood, you know what? Send CVE 2020-10148. We're going to run the test, and then we're going to go back to the firewall and see the intrusions. These will be listed as intrusions that were then subsequently blocked. So let's go ahead and go to the CyberFlood. So here we are over in the CyberFlood, and it's my clients, my servers, my VRs, it's everything, my queue, it's everything that I've already been doing. And it's also this traffic mix. Now, what I want you to really wrap your head around, and I really actually like the way that CyberFlood did this. This tab here is the traffic mix tab. Success, good, and so CyberFlood will actually categorize the traffic in these two things and what is success differently. So in the traffic mix tab, everything that I have here, I want and expect to have go through. So success, 100% success, is that all of the traffic that I configure to have go through this next generation firewall in my situation, or any device under test for a normal CyberFlood, 100% success is that 100% of this traffic that the CyberFlood send was successful, made it to the other side, and these conversations happened the way that they're supposed to be. the security mix tab, and you can kind of sort of look right here, attacks and malware. It might be a little bit confusing with the apps, but there is a video out there actually where I put Telnet in as an app I wanted to have blocked. Not going to go into that right now, but I think that attacks and malware kind of sort of clue you in that this tab is different. If I put an attack in here, if I put a CVE in here in CyberFlood, and again, I like the way that CyberFlood did this. If I put an attack in here, I want you to give me a different reporting for anything in the security mix tab for this test. What I want is I want good, I want a big green circle that summarizes everything in this security mix tab to be everything that was blocked. If an attack got through or a malware got through, that's not my intent. My intent, if I put it in the security mix tab, is that I want to have it blocked. So let's go ahead and go in here and let's call this fish security mix. And so I'm going to go ahead and add the apps over here. That was the other video where I put a telnet in here. I could also go ahead and pick malware scenarios. Like I said, CyberFlood is used extensively for security testing. We're going to go ahead and go into attacks. Now, in the attacks, and we'll go ahead and name it fish attacks. Fish attacks. If we go over to the filter right here, you can see filter by year. See, now you're catching on. CVE-2020. That was the year that this CVE was given its tracking number when it was discovered. So we could filter it by year. We could also filter it by the severity of it. Critical, high, medium, etc. Now, when I was first coming in here and using CyberFlood, I went CVE 2020-101. That's odd, huh? 48. So what was strange to me was, as you see, I have nothing in here. So what was very strange to me was that I could not put the CVE number in. So I'll ping my Spirant guy and say, yo, what up? So fortunately, I know it's SolarWinds. SolarWinds. The other thing that I do know about it is that I know it was a bypass. So here we are right here, CVE 2020-10148. Now the other interesting thing that I don't really know, so I can't explain it, is that the NVD website listed this as critical, had it as a 9.8. But here the severity is listed as a high. So I don't know that difference. Another thing I'll ask to my Spirant guy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this profile. Now you might add a bunch of CVEs in here and do a whole suite. If you come up here, it shows that I have one. If you highlight on it, sometimes when I have a bunch of them, I might have clicked the wrong one. So I'll just one by one get rid of them, or I could do a clear all and start all over. But we're going to go ahead and save the profile. So I'm not adding apps again. That was before I added Telnet in here because I had a rule over on the firewall that I wanted Telnet blocked. So I wanted all the Telnet that I sent blocked. I'm not doing malware because all we're doing this time is just we're sending this CVE and I want my firewall to go ahead and block this intrusion attempt. So we're going to go ahead and come back up here and we're going to save it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to run it. I just noticed that I had it to run for 10 minutes. I am too lazy to go back and fix that. So we'll just go ahead and let it run. So I'll cut part of this off. So here we are. The test is running. We're doing my load specification of 100 simulated users. And here's my bandwidth. Now what I want is, again, I want these two green circles. The circle on the top, traffic mix transactions. That is the traffic mix tab. And again, the criteria for going green or success is that everything, success 100%, is actually making it through my device under test, which is the firewall. The security mix, all green, this is indicating what is getting reported in by the CyberFlood for everything that has to do with the security mix tab. Whether it be apps I don't want to have go through and get blocked, or attacks, or malware. So as you can see, I have 100% of the CVEs blocked. I really like how CyberFlood did this because it gives me a nice, quick thing when I'm running all the tests that I always run, which is, all the traffic went through, so the intrusion was blocked or the telnet was blocked, didn't impact the test. So, and if we come down here, this is all the traffic that's happening right now. And if we come right down here, this will also give you the information for the attacks data. And that, and the attacks data would also have, when I had in the other video, I had the telnet that was also here, the bad telnet that I wanted to have blocked. So this is telling you that everything has been blocked. And again, I really, really like this. So I think what we're supposed to do now is we're supposed to go to the FMC. Yes, we're supposed to go to the firewall and see the intrusions. So let's go ahead and go to the firewall. That's not the firewall. Let's go to the firewall and let's go ahead and go over here to intrusion events. And voila, we have the SolarWinds Orion authentication bypass attempt. Now, if we go ahead and we click on this, we'll get a lot more detail. It's high. It was dropped. The source IP, that's the client, the destination IP, and all kinds of other fun stuff, showing again that we are actually dropping these intrusion events. So that's about it. We showed how over on CyberFlood, we could take the existing traffic, which would be the background traffic, modify the current CyberFlood test, add the CVE in it, run the test, go over to the firewall and see the intrusions, and also see the nice way that CyberFlood does it, where the nice green circle for the traffic mix, 100% success, and then the nice green circle for the security mix is if everything was blocked. And that's it. Tons more geeky goodness to come. See you later. I'm out.